through kind of the thought process behind the three big lineup in the fourth quarter and riding the bench unit for quite a while and what they did to get you back in the game and how you made the decision of when to put Zach and Vooch back in?
You mean when we had Larry out there with it was Lowry and
Lowry, Tyson, Thad, kind of for the whole fourth quarter, and then rotating the guards a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it was the rotation. You know, we were on point in the rotation. We had a little bit of a lapse there and got down. Thad's just got a really good way about him, you know, in terms of, you know, he can really fight through adversity. He can kind of galvanize the group and get them to fight back, and he did that. And you know, really more than anything, the group was just playing well. You know, they fought their way all the way back. I thought Denzel made some really good plays. I thought that in the post was really good. I thought we were going to maybe have to take that out, but we got a couple timeouts where he was able to kind of catch his breath. But yeah, those guys just played really well and did a really good job. So I just kind of rode with them. And then obviously when Gobert came back with maybe 4 minutes to go, I just thought, you know, be good to try to get, you know, Zach and Vooch back in the game.
Jamal, go ahead.
Yeah, Billy, I know you haven't really had your full roster, you know, pretty much since the trade has kind of happened. But just how much do you feel like you have started figuring out rotations? Do you feel like you're still poking around on that? Do you feel any more comfortable these couple of games, or just kind of how I feel like you had 9 guys going for a while here tonight? Just how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that we were much better defensively tonight. I thought there was way more physicality. We had a really, really bad run for that 2 or 3 minute period there in the second quarter. Otherwise, I thought we could have maybe held them under 50, you know, in that first half. So that part of it was encouraging. You know, the biggest part is we have to play through our bigs. You know, we have to play through them, you know, as playmakers and facilitators. And, you know, I've said this, you know, I think we've got a very, very unselfish team, and guys will move the basketball and pass the basketball. But we're also not the kind of team that has like a lot of creative playmakers off the dribble. It's just not who we are. But the guys that generate offense, you know, are generally our bigs. So we've had to play through them a little bit more. So I think when you're doing that, you're trying to find, you know, the right combinations of guys and who will fit well together. You know, I don't know if I've exactly set on it. It's going to be interesting to see whether or not we can play big. You know, I'm anxious to see whether or not we can play with 2 bigs. You know, I feel like that's the strength of our team, you know, is our front court and at the guys at the 4 and the 5. And, you know, one of the things that's probably happened a little bit, you know, is it's maybe, you know, Patrick, I liked when he was down at the 4 spot. You know, that's been probably hasn't done it as much. Larry's predominantly been 4 and 5, and now he's really been 3 and 4. So those guys have moved around some roles and some positions as well. But I do think we have a big team. We have a long team. And I think if we can try to utilize, you know, our size and our length, I think that's the best way to go. But it's a little bit different, right? Most teams aren't playing with two conventional bigs. And I wouldn't even consider, you know, Thad a conventional big. He's more like a hybrid the way he plays. But, you know, Daniel's a big, Vooch is a big. I think Lau for most of his career has been a front court player, big. I don't think how much small forward he's played. But, you know, for the most part, that's you know, our playmaking group.
Yeah, but even just at the beginning of the season, I think you were generally, you said Patrick at the 4, you kind of put Larry at the 5. You were just simply playing a little bit smaller. You know, just like you said, it's not the way the NBA teams think are going. Do you like that? Was that part of the before you guys made the trade? Was that part of the calculus? Did you want to get bigger consciously, or just kind of, I don't know, what are your thoughts on that dynamic right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, we're trying to get the best guys out there, the best combinations of guys out there. The one thing that's really, really good about it is we really have the flexibility to go small. You know, we can still hypothetically 1 and 2 throw Larry at the 5. We can still have Vooch out there with 4 guards. You know, we can still play Thad at the 5. You have the availability to do those things, but, you know, you're also going to have some really good players sitting on the bench. You know, and you could be pretty deep there on the bench with some good players. But if the game's not, like the game wasn't going real well for us there, we were kind of hanging around. It was 10-12. We needed to do something to try to make a move. And, you know, I just brought Thad in because I thought he can kind of, like I said, re-energize that group. And they played really, really well together. So it worked out really well. And I thought when Vooch and Zach came back in, I thought that group played well to close the game.
Thanks.
KC, go ahead.
Billy, how would you assess Coby's return tonight?
Yeah, I think Coby was fine. You know, he didn't get a lot of shots. You know, it's hard with Gobert in pick and roll as a guard. just because he's back there a lot. And that was the unique part about that, is because even when he was posting, Gobert's like roaming around the basket trying to shot block, but Dad did a nice job of finding guys. I wish we would have shot the ball better from the three. We were really, really poor from behind the line. I thought we had some really good looks. We just couldn't really make shots. Denzel made a few, but I didn't think Coby got a lot of shots. And, if they were going to come, it was going to be off of kickouts out of post-ups. But it's just, he's hard to get downhill against and finish the basket. And they press up on you on the perimeter to try to funnel everything towards him.
He's always so upbeat with us, and you always praise his work ethic and role acceptance and everything. But where do you think he's at mentally? I know he's been out for a couple of games, but where do you think he's at mentally since he got moved to that second unit?
Yeah, I think he just wants to play. I think that's just his mentality. I think he knows hasn't even completed 2 years in the NBA. His first year was cut short. This year's a 10-game reduction, on a regular season. So, he's been in the league for 2 years, but he hasn't even played 2 full seasons. So he's great. I mean, he just wants to play. And the one thing I'm trying to do is figure out the balance really is, is him, he's back there playing the point guard position of, trying to make reads and read how the defense is playing and what they're doing. It's interesting, just I maybe mention this, just talking to Patrick, about him trying to make reads and read things and, how, like, when you can see it on film of how they're rotating, it helps them. And I think, for a guy like Coby, like I said, there's a lot on him, but he's handled everything great. I mean, he's been really, really good. I just think Coby likes to compete and play. I think that if it's come off the bench, start. And don't get me wrong. Every player on our team, every player on any team wants to start. I get that. But I just think that when his number's called, he just wants to play.
Darnell, go ahead.
Thanks, Tim. Billy, I had 2 quick ones for you. It looked like in the first half, you might have extended your minutes for the first string tonight before Sato picked up that early fourth in the third quarter, that fourth foul. Was that the case? Did you try to get a longer look at them tonight early on?
No, what happened was I sent those guys up there, Darnell, and you know what? There was no stoppage of play. I'd taken a timeout, and there was no stoppage of play. I was trying to get those guys off around 6 minutes. It probably went down to 4:30, maybe even a little bit lower than that. So it kind of maybe had some extended minutes, but that certainly we were looking to get a couple guys off right around 6 minutes, in particular Zach, to try to get him back in, to close the first quarter. But with the way the game went, it was there wasn't really any stoppage to do that.
And my second question is about Larry. What are your early thoughts on him? I know it's early, really only 2 games. Early thoughts on him at small forward?
Yeah, I think Larry's been fine. I think one of the things, with all the cutting and moving, that I think Larry's very effective at. We've tried to put him in some pin downs. We've tried to put him in, running off some screens and doing some of those things. He's done a nice job with that. But again, when you're posting the basketball at the basket, any post player needs space, right? So the floor's got to get spaced. And I think our guys have done a pretty good job cutting. Larry's a good cutter for his size too. But a lot of times when the ball's being posted, you gotta find people on the perimeter. And, the ball necessarily didn't find a lot of our guys tonight, because I thought, Thad was really, really good down there tonight. We had some good stuff there. I thought Denzel got into the lane as well. But, I think Larry running him off screens and doing some of that stuff, he's always been good at that, even at the 4 spot. The difference for him, Darnell, right now is he's dealing with probably guys that are much more nimble and quicker on their feet and more comfortable chasing off screens than maybe it was when he was at the 4 spot.
Gotcha. Thank you.
All right, we got 4 more. I don't know if we'll get them all in because we got to get the players before they have to catch a bus. Sam Smith, go ahead.
Billy, when Vucevic made that 3 to cut it to 3, it looked like you were going to play it out. There's about 2.5 seconds left, and it looked like maybe you'd play it out for a last possession. But then I think Zach fouled, and then it got to 14, so you only had like 1 second, and you had to, then foul for sure, and play fouls the rest of the way. What were you trying to do, after Vucevic hit the 3?
We were trying to get one trap. We were trying to get one trap, and then we had a foul to give. And even if we fouled, we were forcing them to take it on the side. We just never got to the trap. And I thought we had an opportunity, Sam, to do it because they brought the ball up the sideline and we didn't come. And it would have been nice to have gotten one trap at least and see what happens. But I just think, I don't know what it was, maybe a 2.5 second differential. Shot goes up, it's a scrum, it's a loose ball. You don't even necessarily get another possession again. tried to maybe go with some 3-point shots, on some side of the bounds to maybe, give ourselves a chance. But the differential there was tough, and maybe could have fouled a little bit earlier or trapped a little bit earlier, but we weren't able to do that.
Thanks.
Bob Schaefer, go ahead.
Billy, how do you think Zach looked tonight? First game back from the ankle after getting a few days to kind of rehab it.
Yeah, I thought he was moving really well. I mean, I think you can ask him. I mean, he came to me before the game after he went through his warm up and, said, I feel good, I can go, and talked to medical, and they felt really, really good about where he was at and how he was feeling. So, again, I think when you miss a game like that and you're not necessarily practicing, ball in your hand, it takes a little bit of time to get your rhythm back. But I thought he was moving very well today. I did not feel that way the last couple games, but I thought for the amount of minutes he got tonight, I thought he moved pretty well. His timing looked maybe a little bit off, and his rhythm looked a little bit off there in that first half, but he certainly regained it there in the second half.
Matthew Coles, go ahead.
You said you struggled from 3, but last game Rudy Gobert had 9 blocks, and in this game you guys dominated in the paint. What did you do well on offense to get some of the easier shots, the shots closer to the basket?
Well, I think our team's different. Tice down there, is a big, strong guy. Vucevic is strong. Thad is a unique player down there. Because what's happening now is Thad a lot of times was being played by other teams' centers. Now he's being played by power forwards. So these teams that are playing 4 guards, like Utah does, whether it's Bogdanovich or Ingles or, O'Neal, like those guys are perimeter players. And, when we can find him and get it to him down there, he's not going against Rudy Gobert. Last time we played him before the trade deadline, he was playing the center spot for us, Thad, right? And now he's not really ever there, but we can kind of use him, as a post-up guy against, some of those power forwards.
Last question, Christos, go ahead.
Hello, Coach. Tonight you play against the top team of the East, top team of the West. On Sunday we're gonna face the top team of the East. What would you like to carry on from tonight's game? What would you like to improve?
Yeah, I mean, again, take the last 2.5, 3 minutes out, and obviously it's part of the game. I probably shouldn't say take it out, but I thought we were more physical. I thought we were more into the ball. The biggest thing, which was disappointing to me, was the fact that I thought we posted the ball a lot and we didn't generate a lot of free throws. Yeah, that was a problem. I think they took 10 more free throws than we did. But I thought our physicality on defense was much better. This has been a team, Utah year long, it's been a really hard team to guard and a very efficient team. And, again, I think, they ended up getting 113, but I think there was also some things that we kind of, could have done a much, much better job on. But the mentality of the way we played defense tonight is what we have to carry going forward.